So growing up, there was no desire ever to get into the real estate side, into the
Well,
business?
so growing up, I really wanted to run my own bed and breakfast or, like, hotel,
Okay.
and in college, I did run a Holiday Inn Express and realized that that's got to be, like, a career goal for maybe when I don't have any other life. It
Yeah.
is 24/7, like, not like we work, like, our phone's on us, like, you have to be in a physical location all
Right.
the time. So yeah, I just always I mean, there's like a little notebook that I had in like 2nd grade of me like this drawing of a hotel that I was gonna own and operate and stuff. Um, so that was really like the
It
path. And then I don't know where real estate really fits into that same line, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's just always interesting because 'cause I've had several people on and, where parents or family members have been in the business, and it's always 50-50. Always, like, growing up, I said I was never gonna get into real estate, and then obviously they end up getting into real estate, and then the other half is like, "Oh, yeah, like, I loved it. I loved, going out with my parents to help them, put flyers on doors and things like that," and
Yeah,
so
my
I'm
mom
always
didn't start
curious.
until I was like in high school or college. So even then I didn't really and she was someone's assistant. She's on a team that they're
Okay,
super successful team, but she's really an assistant. She's really a background
sure.
person. So it wasn't like I was even driven by that. So
Yeah, yeah. So now husband or husband at the time was
now husband. We're still on husband number 1. So
perfect. Hey, that's a win. So they're like, "Hey, give real estate a shot."
yeah, yeah. So we had
And
just had our 2nd baby. Yeah,
okay,
baby number 2. And he was like, I mean, why not? Um, try it and see if you like it. And he was on the same lines, like I could become an appraiser and he thought I'd be good at that, really.
sure,
Um,
sure.
and since I couldn't get into it easily, like the barrier was a lot higher for that. And I was like, well, we'll do this and that'll be my stepping stone. But that first year I ended up selling 13 houses. So
Wow.
I was like, I kind of like this. Like, and there was a lot more, you know, being an introvert, it's not like I have to, it's mostly like in large crowds. Large crowds don't really excite me.
Yeah,
One-on-one, trying to really help someone get to where they want to be and like achieve the goal they're getting to. I love it.
yeah.
I've always been good at customer service. I like customer service. It was a lot different than I thought it would be, I guess, like the connection with people in that
Yeah,
environment.
yeah. What year did you end up getting your license?
So it was the very end of 2013 is when I actually got licensed. So 2014 was my first full year.
Okay, awesome. And when you got in, I'm always personally curious, as far as, doubters, right? I mean, you have a family, like this is a family decision, right? Doubters, supporters, what really motivated you to kind of jump in and did you jump in full time off the rip, or were you kind of doing another job and kind of trying to transition into
Yeah.
real estate?
So I was doing 2 other jobs.
Wow.
Like one was 29 hours a week or so. Um and then the other was just a part-time job like going in and working when I needed to. And I just had like I said, I just had my 2nd baby. Like I was
Yeah.
literally it was still you had to go to class physically. Every single break I had to pump. Like it was a lot of work to get through the weekends with the baby not like right on my
Yeah.
hip. Um and I worked another job for 2 years. 3 years? Yeah, my first 3 years I worked at least one other job, if not 2 other jobs. And I had a 3rd baby during that time too.
Wow. Wow.
Um,
I can't
yeah,
even I can't even, I joke with people, I don't have any kids. But I've been in it 11 years and I'm like, I don't know how parents do real estate and have kids, especially with sports when they get to that age. Like, I don't know how you guys do it,
yeah,
honestly.
it's
Like,
wild right now, especially right now.
but
Because
but
we're up to 4 kids now, so it's It's
Yeah,
insane. Everyone's in
it,
activity.
hey, everyone can just tag along with you and help out, right? It's like,
They are good at it now.
you jump 20, 2013, 2014, jump in, other jobs going on, and you're still able to sell 13 houses, right? With the baby and everything. Like, what what did you focus on, that first year? And then kind of lead me into the first couple years, right? Was it always, the success? 13, out of the gate is a great year, right?
Yeah,
Especially, we were just talking before we started, the average is what, 4, 6, per year per
yeah,
agent, whatever our industry standards are. But can you talk to us through, like, those first couple years, some of the highs, some of the lows? How did you think about going about helping clients and getting clients?
yeah. So, I think the first thing was I joined an office right away, and my office manager was very supportive, like, very much didn't give I didn't feel like he gave me a chance to not put myself out there. He's like, "Do you have letters written to people?" And I'm like, "Well, you told me to, but I don't have it done yet." And he's like, "No, like, here's the stamps. We're mailing them. Like, I need you to do this." If the phone rang, he'd be like, "Yeah, go ahead and answer the office phone." I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And he's like, "I mean, you'll be fine." And I do think having a really quick closing was super helpful. So I had a closing, like, I joined the office and 22 days later, I closed my first house. So
Wow.
that, you know, I feel like there's a good snowball that can happen if you can
Yeah.
get it going. And it was so he was actually he my office manager got a little fussy because he was like, that person called the office. I took the call. I went, I showed him one house. He wrote on it, like, we got it accepted. But then we're just closing it. Then the next office call I get, we see one house, they like it, it's sold. Like, the next person I had gotten on some office generating lead source where I had to go interview and, up against 3 other agents, and they chose me. We listed the house, I got it sold, and he was like, "This is not how it actually works." And I was like, "Is it not?" But I do think, like, I always say that I've always been ever able to silence other people's opinion of me pretty easily. I was like I said, I was super nerdy, and I don't even remember anyone ever not being nice to me. And
Yeah,
there had to have been. Like, I had gap teeth, I was a teacher's pet, I wore glasses, like, I was like a target for sure, but I never, like, heard what other people say that's negative.
sure.
And I think that's just something I was just grew up with, and so I didn't have time to not to worry about, like, what people said or people telling me no when I got started.
Yeah.
My babies were 18 months and newborn, and then quickly ended up, a year later pregnant with a third, and I had 2 other jobs, and my husband was working a few jobs, and I didn't have time to worry about, like, not making it. I only had time to just keep putting myself out there, answer the calls, and just keep hustling. So,
Yeah.
it was really just making those connections, sending out letting everyone know that I was in the business. I did buy leads my first year, which was a little scary, but my market was super small, and the leads were really cheap. It was like $40 a month to get in on an internet source, and I was the only one actually answering the phone. So it was great. I got so many, just phone calls from there, and, just doing what you say, I think really helped me in that first year. If I didn't have the answer right then, I'd tell someone I was gonna call them back, and I
Yeah.
called them back. And they were like, "Oh, man, we talked to 3 other people that said they were gonna call us back, and we haven't heard back." And I was like, "Oh," like, I didn't even think of that as an option. Like, I have to call you back. I said I was gonna call you back. I
Yeah.
won't make any money if I don't call you back. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
uh, yeah,
I cut my teeth on internet leads, and we've built our business, the team's business, around internet leads. And it's just that, right? Are you willing to answer the phone, right? When that lead comes in, are you willing to call that lead, and are you going to stay true to your word, right? And that's half of it right there. Is like you said, if I say I'm going to call you back, of course I'm going to call you back. But you'd be surprised at how many agents,
I'm not
They
surprised
just
anymore. I
yeah,
was
well,
surprised.
yeah, yeah, but it's one of those things like we get busy, or we're always. I find agents are always trying to chase the next new thing, right? The next
Yes.
new lead, the next new client, the next new system, whatever it is, and they're not nurturing the people that have already come through.
Right. And trying to, like, I'm not I love creativity, and I love that people are creative, but you don't have to create anything. Like, there are things that work in this industry, and if you do those things, you will see success from doing those things that work. And,
Yeah,
in the last 4 years, I've actually moved into with Key Realty and took a management role, even, like, passed my broker exam, did all the things, and have been coaching people for a couple of years to really help them, and now I'm not surprised. I mean, you can give people a plan and some of them will take it and they're like, "Oh, I invited, anyone to have coffee on me today, and someone came in and they wanted to list a house." And I was like, "Yeah." And then you can tell 10 other people to do the same thing and only that one person does it. And you're like,
yeah,
"Okay, well, if you wanna know how I sell, it's because I put myself out there a lot and talk to a lot of
yeah,
people. You
yeah.
network, you make connection. This is
Well,
how
and
you."
it's funny because you said you're an introvert. You don't really be around people. Like, that's me. You know what I mean? Like, when I got into the business, it was all the disc profile, right?
Right.
The perfect salesperson is high D and I, and I tested out and I was like SC. I was like, well, this will get interesting, I guess,
Yeah, like, it's either gonna
but
work or it's not.
yeah, but over the years, I just find like, it's not your personality is your personality. You are who you are. In this business, you got to find what you enjoy doing. And as long as you enjoy doing something and you do it consistently and you can throw in real estate into that, like, you're gonna be successful. For me, it was internet leads, right? You can't, I tell people all the time, you can't catch me at a networking event. Unless I know people, you can't catch me at a networking event. That's not in an environment where I would thrive, right?
Right.
Some people, that's where they thrive.
Yeah, that's not
And
me either.
that's
I go and I'm like I talk to the 2 people I know and I'm like, "See you guys. Have a great night."
yeah, yeah, I'm on the corner, like the wall,
Right.
but I talk to agents all the time. It's just like, do what you're comfortable doing, and you can throw any real estate mix on it,
Yeah,
right? At the end of the day, real estate's fairly simple in the sense of, um, you know, waking up today. Who do I need to speak to today that I haven't spoken to yet about real estate, and who do I need to speak with today that I've already spoken to about real estate that I need to follow up with, right?
right.
I mean, that's real estate.
That's it.
So.